Now is a wonderful time for you to create the future that you want as much as you can influence, as much as you can manage. In this video, I want to help you do three things. I'm going to help you become more attractive, more successful, and more of who you truly are. And this will help you create the future and manifest the future that you want as much as you can manage. Are you ready for this? Number one thing will help you become more attractive. And people that are attractive have people gravitate towards them. It has much less to do with looks than people gravitating towards them. They are attracted to them like magnets, regardless of looks. How does that occur? People that are attractive, people having gravitate towards them, doesn't carry around a lot of baggage with them. So what I do is I leave my shit on the side of the road. So when I show up to my destination or interact with people along the road in which is my destination, I interact with them and shit doesn't make for a very good cologne. And some people have such good sensory that they could smell it from a mile away. So when you carry around a lot of baggage with you, a lot of shit with you, people can really tell. One of the aspects of enlightenment is at any moment you feel that you've arrived. It doesn't matter whether you're 18 years old or 20 years old or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 years old. You can feel at any moment that you've arrived, and that sensation will radiate to others. What does that look like? How does that show up? You have complete comfort about yourself and recognizing that all of the decisions that you've made in your life up to this point has made you who you are. Now, some people will have tremendous fear from that. Some people will be enlightened by that, will be unburdened by that. By recognizing the people that fear it say, well, oh my gosh, all of the decisions that I've made all my life has led me to this. What kind of person am I? All those negative decisions that I've made? Remember that every day you're making hundreds of thousands of decisions. A lot of it happen automatically. You don't think of it consciously, but you're making the decisions nonetheless. They're just automatic. They're by habit. And then there are people that are enlightened by this recognition. They say, oh my gosh, so when I change the decisions that I make every day, those hundreds of micro decisions that I make, if I change them into the person that I want to become, well, that's wonderful news. It's about how you're going to see this. But someone who doesn't carry a lot of shit with them, who is attractive, recognizes that, hey, I am who I am. I can be whoever I want to be. I can create the person that I want to become. I can make decisions now, but nonetheless, the decisions that I've made in my past has made me the person that I am. And I'm completely comfortable with that. And this comfort, this sublime comfort, inspires in others comfort in themselves. Comfort in yourself and not having to have any pretense, not having to pretend to be someone you're faster, stronger, wiser, richer, more powerful than you are. Just who you are is confidence inspiring. It inspires other people that, hey, all of us have flaws, and that's completely okay. We're all human, and this person is confidence inspiring. I feel that I can be myself around this person because they're not pretending to be someone else. They're completely comfortable with themselves, and that is really, really attractive. That is someone I love to be around. They're not having to prove anything to anyone. They're not having to prove anything to me. And so I can be myself because I don't have to play the games that people play typically. At any point in your life, you can feel that you've arrived. And this sensation, this complete quorum about yourself, recognizing you are who you are. And you can change who you are if you like, or if you don't like. You don't have to. But you're comfortable with that. You can feel that you've arrived. I want you to take that feeling of, I want to be this kind of person. I want to be this such and such a person. I have all these attributes. And then when I get there, that sensation. I feel that I've arrived. Well, you can get that feeling now. That's the feeling you can get now. Capture that feeling. Think about that feeling after this video, or maybe now, and think about how good that feels. And think about the confidence, inspiration that you will be around other people, and you can have that feeling now. You can be successful now. Nothing more is required for you in this life other than your survival. And then you can thrive if you'd like. You can utilize the time that you have to thrive in your life, but you don't have to. Just being who you are is sublimely enough. And then you can be whoever you want to be after the fact. Number 2 thing will help you become more successful. The definition of success, if I were to ask you, what is your definition of success? Most people's definition of success is when you've acquired something, when you've gotten into a position, when you got this person, or when you got this thing, when you got this position, when you've got this power, when you've got this car, clothes, when you got this house, when you marry this person, then I'm successful. But the old and archaic meaning no longer used in old definition, archaic definition of success is outcome. An outcome is a success. An outcome is one succession of having something before it. Having something before it is a success, an outcome. A success is an outcome. And for you to be full of successes, is you have to have successions of successes. So in other words, a successor is not just any person, it's the one that came after the previous. A succession is one that comes after the previous. A successive succession, for example, if you have successions of successive successes, a succession of hits. If you're a boxer, a combo is a succession of hits, one that came after the other, after the other, after the other. That is a succession. A successor is one that comes after the previous. A successor to a throne. A success is just an outcome. And for you to be able to create successes requires one thing and one thing from you alone, and that is an attempt. Any attempt that you make creates a succession, a success. It doesn't matter whether it's an outcome that you preferred, an outcome that you liked, or an outcome that you did not like. An outcome from an attempt is a success. It's one that comes after the previous attempt. You understand? So for you to become successful, all you need to do is to have full of successes, full of attempts, continuing making attempts, making more attempts, making more attempts. One coming after the previous, after the previous, after the previous. When you're now full of successes, you are successful. And the wonderful thing about successes is that you refine. You become more refined after each attempt. Because you can never make the same mistake twice. The next time you make the same mistake is by decision. Number 3 thing is that you can become who you are right now by recognizing that your ego, your construction of your identity, is a construction of your mind. Because when you were young, this was just a meat thing that when you say move to the left, move to the right, and then you begin learning how to grab things so you can control it. But no longer, at some point, was it just a hand that moves around of flesh meat moving around. Now you can control it. Now it is not just a hand, it is now my hand. Your identity is your construction in your mind of your ego learning. You learn our wonderful ability to create abstractions of things. And our ego has created an identity of ourselves. And the funny thing about human beings is that as a survival mechanism, we remember more of the negative aspects of our life because it helps us survive. Doesn't matter if you have 100 comments. If you have one comment in that 100 that's a negative, you'll remember that negative comment in your social media. Because it's a survival mechanism of our brain to remember the negative aspects, things that might cause us danger in the future. So their egos are filled with these negative experiences in their life, and they create their identity off of that. But the wonderful thing is that you can create the identity that you want because it's just a construction of your mind. It's just an abstraction, and your ego's sole purpose is to not be diminished. Your ego's sole purpose is to not have it be embarrassed by people think of it less than what it thinks it is. But you're not your ego. You can be whoever you want to be. You can be completely, sublimely comfortable with yourself, whoever you are at this time in your life. Hopefully that helps. Share this video with other people. You're making the world a better place for all of us. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.